Okay, so this video is going to look at how to make the rotating room gameplay from Zero Time Dilemma. So basically what's happening is since it's a first person point of view, the bulk of the gameplay is really just rotating the camera. So as you look left and look right, you're just rotating the camera left and right. And then when you zoom in on an object, that's just changing the position of the camera. So let's get right into it. I'm going to use a combination of objects that we're going to create from scratch, as well as some objects that were um, created already and I just downloaded from the assets store here. So let's go ahead and get into this. So game object, 3D, plane. Good thing to know about planes is that they're really one-sided. So even though you see um, it looks like it's a 3D object. If you flip it, you can actually see through the other side. So it's important to have the correct side facing where you want it to face. Make sure the camera is at 0, 0, and then 0. Take the plane, rename it floor. Also center it at 0, 0, but we want it to be lower than the camera. If the camera and the floor at the same level, then it's going to be looking like the point of view is from the floor. We really don't want to do that. So let's put it at -3. Now, right here is a image I drew externally in a program called Anime Studio Pro. You can use whatever you want. The only thing that is really notable about this texture is the fact that the left and the right side line up, the top and the bottom line up, so is that it's seamless. So it doesn't look like as if you've just, um, so it doesn't look like you're tiling it. So it actually looks like it's a solid image. So just drag and drop it, and that actually creates a material. So there's two ways to create material. You can right click and choose create material, or you can just drag and drop an image onto an object. The material folder automatically gets created, and there it says floor tile material. So it looks pretty terrible. So click on the object, expand the tile material, and let's go to what says tiling and change this to 9 by 9. Also, the object is too small. Let's make this 5 by 5. If it turns out the plane is too big, it's not a big deal because in this gameplay, you're never going to actually exit the room, so it's not going to see any kind of overhang. Now that we have the floor in place, we can actually already start the rotation. So let's right click, choose create, and we'll choose C# script. We'll call this rotate cam. So you're going to click on the main camera, you're going to put rotate cam on it, then I'm going to double click to open it, and now let's start typing. So we're going to create two key codes. So public key code, and we'll call this rotate L, public key code, rotate R. So what key codes do are these are variables that store certain keys on the keyboard. It can also be used to store the mouse if you want to use those. So if you go back to main cam now, you'll see that those two variables have appeared. So you just have a drop down box. So you have to choose what keys you want to assign to these variables. We'll use WASD control. So we'll do rotate left is A, rotate R will be D, and now all we have to do is put in a couple if statements and we'll actually already have the rotation. So if input, because it's looking for player input, dot get key and rotate L, then we want something to happen. What do we want to happen? We want to rotate the camera. So transform dot rotate, and we want to rotate it on the y-axis by, say, 2 degrees. Now we have to do the same, or should I say the opposite, for rotate right. We want it to be -2. And that's all it takes to really create first-person rotation on the camera. So let's go ahead and run that. There we go. That easy to rotate the camera. So let's build out the room a little bit. So game object, more 3D planes, and I might jump ahead because it's just going to create a 4 planes and just line them up with the floor. So it just requires a little rotation. So 90x, 0y, 0z for this one. And now let's just expand it. Let's also make it 5 by 5. And again, you don't have to worry about there being overhang because you're not going to actually leave the room. So you don't have to worry about seeing anything sticking out. Now you just click on the camera. Make sure you've got the proper facing, or should I say the proper side facing the camera. And there it is. And now it's kind of just copy and paste. Like I said, I might jump ahead. And there we go. You can't see the fourth wall here because, as I said, they're one-sided. So let's just take a quick look. Let's move this one up. And let's go to the main camera and just rotate it around. And there's that fourth wall in the back. Okay, so since the basic room is in place, let's now save this. So File, Save Scene, and we're going to call this Room 1. We're probably only going to do one room because once you see how you do one room, it's just a matter of rinse and repeat. But I just wanted to let you know that this is the way that Unity breaks games and applications up into pieces. It breaks it into scenes, and a scene would be, in a game like this, a room. A scene could also be a menu, like a title menu. A scene could be the ending credits. In an old school side-scrolling, a scene would be like one level. So it basically is a way of breaking down a part of the game into logical related pieces.